Welcome back to Black Mass Paranormal. So, tonight, I'm going to be talking about an incident that happened to me with this mirror behind me. Now, this mirror originally came from North Carolina. It was in a home of a man named Charlie Lawson. This man on Christmas Eve decided it was time that he was going to kill his entire family. This mirror supposedly hung in that house in which the murders took place. Now, not all of the murders happened in the house, but a couple of them did. So, when I obtained this mirror, I was told that it was haunted. I didn't necessarily believe it. And what I decided to do, we were heading out to Palmer's Junction to do just kind of like an exploration video, maybe look to see if there was any paranormal activity that happens out there, because there was a lot of tragedy that occurred at Palmer's Junction. But I decided I wanted to bring this mirror along with me to see if maybe we could find out if there was anything to this legend. So, on that island, we had some of the craziest activity that we have been able to record together. We actually were not even able to concentrate on filming the surrounding area in Palmer's Junction because of all the activity that was coming out of this mirror. I initially walked up to this mirror holding an EMF detector, and immediately it went off. And we were on an island. There was nothing around us. And there was no power lines, no buildings. They only had porta potties there. So there was no reason whatsoever for an EMF detector to start going off. I even put the EMF detector on top of the mirror, leaning against a tree. Now, the activities continued to happen. Even stepping away, all of our equipment was set on airplane mode, and then all of a sudden we started getting these crazy voices. And one voice in particular, to me, really got to me, and it was a man. And he said it was me. And then he had said, oh my God, I feel like I'm seeing something in that mirror. Okay, sorry. Then he totally lost my train of thought. He proceeded to say a couple different phrases that came through during the investigation. So, we were really blown away at this. It was really shocking to experience that level of activity and be kind of blown away with what was happening. I'm sorry, I'm seeing stuff move kind of all around me right now. I really hate the fact that I brought this thing into my studio. But anyway, so I had been waiting since January of this year to receive treatment for my hands. Now, a lot of you all know that I was in the military and I was medically retired. I was in an accident, and since then I've struggled with a lot of back problems and major problems with my hands. They go completely numb, and I haven't been able to get the treatment that I needed. Well, yesterday I actually got my first round of injections to try to assist with the damage that has happened to the nerves. I'm gonna eventually go and have surgery, but I've been kind of putting that off. I've got a lot of stuff going on this summer, so I can't really risk having any type of complications this summer. So anyway, so last night I was not really able to sleep. I was basically just like wide awake. I wasn't tired at all. It wasn't like I was like overly sleepy and you know, kind of starting to drift away or whatever. About, what time was it? It was about 1 or it was about 1 or 2 in the morning. I gotta pee. So I get up, and for some reason I didn't go into the bathroom in my bedroom. I think I had it in my mind I wanted to go down in the kitchen and get something to drink, but I went into the hallway bathroom. Now, as I am in the bathroom, I start hearing this kind of distant tapping kind of sound. And I hear this mumbling, almost like a chant kind of, but I was pretty much convinced that somebody was actually trying to break into my house. So in my backyard, I've got a big fence. I've got a pool. So I immediately run back into my bedroom and I grab my pistol and I grab my flashlight. And I continue to hear, or I'm sorry, I immediately grab my pistol and grab my flashlight. I swear, golly, this mirror freaks me out. Okay, so my dog Duke is usually, he gets excited when he hears me get up and he sees that flashlight. I think he likes to think he's Rambo or something. So, you know, he comes trumping out there. He'll get in between my legs and, you know, do his, you know, little dog, his tough dog thing. He's still a pretty big dog though. He weighs about 65 pounds. So he can definitely do some damage, but I've got him trained pretty well. So normally he's out the door with me, and this time he wouldn't leave. I typically hear Duke first. Duke is the one that usually wakes me up, because he will start barking and going crazy if there is some sort of activity happening outside. But this time I had just heard him just kind of like pacing around downstairs. So I'm like, okay, this is weird. So I start heading out the garage door and heading out to my backyard where I hear the sounds. And when I get outside, I don't really hear them that much right off. But then I start hearing the sounds more, and I realize that it's not coming from my fence gate, but it's actually coming from this other building that I have on my property. It's essentially a shed, but it's a pretty large shed. So I'm thinking that maybe somebody is inside of this shed, getting, you know, trying to steal something. Maybe trying to steal my mirror or whatever. But this is where I keep my mirror, because I do not want this thing. I just heard a hiss. Because I do not want this thing in my house. Now, okay. I don't know if you all are seeing stuff in this mirror, but it might be my eyes or the fact that I have not slept in now over 24 hours, but it's really tripping me out looking at this thing over my shoulder. So anyway, so I start approaching the building or the shed. as I am about 10 feet away, I hear this boom, 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 and I freak out. I absolutely freak out because I was not expecting that loud of a sound come out, like of a building. I mean, it was straight up out of like the worst horror film that you could ever imagine. Like, my heart just absolutely sank. I went straight into fight or flight mode, and I didn't know what to do. I jumped back, I racked my weapon, and I was ready to go to town. And so I opened my shed, and I am looking around, and everything's in disarray. Like, I usually keep my shed really organized, but everything is just kind of all over the place, and there's nobody in there. So I am like looking at this mirror, and I'm trying to wrap my head around what is happening. So I'm like, okay, maybe that sound came from where the banging didn't come from the inside of the shed. Maybe it came from behind the shed or beside the shed, because the shed doors themselves are on the inside of the fence. However, the structure goes way behind the fence. So, but there's no doorways or windows or anything on the sides or the back. So there's no way to enter the shed from back there. So I immediately start going around. I go back through my fence and go towards the back of my property. I'm looking around. Back there, there's absolutely nothing disturbed. Everything, there's no footprints. There is nothing. And I'm like, okay, so it had to be as a result of this mirror. So I start walking back inside, and as I'm walking around the side of the house, and I am almost just kind of out of sight of the mirror, I hear the loudest blood-curdling scream that you could imagine. And at that point, I was absolutely terrified. I had no idea that an object as like this could hold this much energy. And I honestly, at this point, I don't really know what to do with it. I do have it secured. It's nothing's able to get out, and I think that's what the banging was of this mirror. Of course, I've got it in my freaking studio right now, which is really stupid. But this is another area where I have set clear boundaries as far as being able to enter my home. So I'm not too worried about it. But y'all, I was going to do some more stuff on my haunted artifacts that I have. I really want to show them to you. Something happened, and I decided that I wanted to kind of put those videos off for a little while. So you all are going to get to see more of the objects that I own, and we're going to go through and we're going to discuss different ways that you, as a paranormal enthusiast, can enjoy these types of objects without putting yourself at risk, because I think that's really important. There's a lot of people out there that they go and they try to purchase haunted objects or obtain haunted objects, but they don't really know what they're doing, so they can really get themselves in a lot of trouble with it, and it can cause you a lot of depression. A lot of bad things can happen in your life. You can get really sick. There's a lot of stuff that can go wrong when something just pulled on my shirt. God, this thing, man, I swear it is on another level of a haunted object. It's crazy. I honestly, I would put this. I swear I just saw like a man in that mirror right in here. I would put this in comparison with Bela Lugosi's mirror. I know that's a lot to say, but what happened last night and what happened at Palmer's Junction, I honestly think it's up there. So yeah, we are going to do some more investigating on this. We are going to see what kind of paranormal activity that can come from an object like this, see how we can actually measure it scientifically, and go from there. So you all, I have a bunch of cool stuff on the way. Also, I am so stoked about this these next couple of videos, because I have been out cryptid hunting and I have uncovered some evidence that really blew my mind. Like, you know, it's really hard when you're doing cryptid stuff to make a YouTube video out of it, because the majority of the time you just don't find anything, or what you do find is explainable. However, what I have come across, I'm really excited about, because cryptids are, I think, super cool. I've been obsessed with them ever since I was a kid. I was obsessed with the chupacabra, and I always wanted to find one, to see one, and yeah, the evidence that I have come up with is freaking awesome. It's so cool. So I'm really proud of it. And y'all, thank you all so much for the freaking support you all have been giving me. Like, it's so awesome. Memorial Day, that video is turning out awesome. You know, people are still going to watch it. You know, so that's really going to help out with the effort to end veteran suicide. That is a big issue to me. It's really close, because I unfortunately have lost a lot of friends as a result of it. And I do apologize for not making that video longer. That was my first live stream, so I kind of messed up the first like 10 minutes of it. But I was able to get it fixed. And, you know, when I started talking, and then when I went to go look for a friend of mine's grave, I really just kind of was struggling to keep it together. So I thought I would be okay, but I really wasn't. So but I wanted to find a way to give back to the community, because this YouTube adventure has been an extremely humbling experience for me. Like, the amount of support that you all have given me is just unreal. It's just, and I am so grateful for it, that I don't want to take it for granted. and I want to find ways of giving back. Thank you all so much for watching, and until next time. So here is the short kind of video of the pounding sound. I actually stopped recording when the scream happened, but you can still hear that pounding. So until next time.